we move on to the boys from South Beach, the fastest team on planet Earth, and the fastest to get bounced out of the playoffs. The Miami Dolphins. 11-6, same coach, Mikey Mick, same offense. McDonald's, he's calling them. Quarterback 1, Tua T. Quarterback 2, dog, Mike White. Absolute menace of a human being, Mike White. RB1, Devon ACHANE. RB7. Get to that later. Raheem Mostert, RB28. Jalen Wright, RB47. And the show's favorite running back, Jeff Wilson Jr.
JWJ.
He does have a few more hurdles to get over this year to see the field because he is currently not being drafted.
To make the team.
To make the team.
I'm about to say, did he make it to camp?
Guys.
I know.
He's fine. Everything's okay.
I had a sad day for G.
LaQuan, the running joke is my younger brother watched the show. He's a Jeff Wilson Jr. stan. And he had Jeff Wilson on his team that year that Jeff Wilson just popped the fuck off. So he just always says Jeff Wilson season. It happened once in the last 3 years, but
he's predicted it every week. He's been right once.
He's been right once. Every time he's predicted it, it might happen. Who knows? Wide receiver 1 is Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle is 2. They are wide receiver 2 and 15 respectively. And then a steep drop off. I wonder why. To wide receiver 91, Odell Beckham Jr. Wide receiver 98, Malik Washington, and what will eventually be the Week 8 hookup, Mike White to Braxton Berrios, king. Wide receiver 5, undrafted currently. Tight end 1, Jonnu Smith.
Let's go.
Tight end 25, and then everyone's favorite blocking tight end, Durham Smythe, currently going undrafted right now. So I never thought I'd say we'd start at the tight end position. We always start with who our guests say. Let's go. At this point, at tight end 25, Jonnu Smith could have, he very well could be the tight end 4 by the end of the season because all you need is about a touchdown a week and 1 catch, and that pretty much gets you there. So, LaQuan, how are we feeling about Jonnu Smith?
Listen, I feel like he's such a great value. He's one of those guys I've just been taking at the end of the drafts as my tight end 2 because I feel as though if we learned anything from Mike McDaniel, he's going to utilize his players at the best of their abilities. I mean, career highs for Tyreek Hill, career highs for Waddle, career highs for Mostert. What other position do we need to go to where he needs to have career high at? And that's the tight end position where he has the most speed. And we talked about Durham Smythe. He was 3rd in receptions last year. So it's like, obviously, the tight end has some type of role. He actually outsnapped Mike Gesicki in 2022, by the way, which was complete nasty work. But I really feel as though he's been trying to get the tight end involved. It's not the wide receiver 3. Cedric Wilson didn't work out. It just didn't. He's fast, but the 3rd wide receiver doesn't exist in the offense with Tua. So when you have the tight end so heavily involved, not heavily involved, but involved as much as he shouldn't be, and Jonnu Smith has kind of been the guy that's just been annoying to all fantasy managers of just popping off randomly on the waiver wire. I think we jump on it now to where he's going into an offense that is completely speed demoned out to where I think Mike McDaniels can get the absolute best out of Jonnu Smith.
And he signed there quick. He was one of the first signings, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And you like that. That meant the Dolphins wanted him and he wanted to be there. And in this offense, it's worth it. Joe, you said something that made my brain start going, and you know how that goes sometimes. If a guy caught 1 pass for 1 yard and 1 touchdown every single week, where do you think he would have finished last year?
Well, that would have been, so a catch is 1, a yard is 0.1,
7.1
and a touch,
so
7.1.
No, but where do you think he would have ranked among tight ends? Because you said it wouldn't take much.
Yeah, 7.1 every single week. That's probably like tight end 8 or tight end 7.
19.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so 1 catch for 20 yards and a touchdown.
So he's still a value at ADP is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
When he scores 17 touchdowns this year, he is still a value at ADP.
Tell me I'm wrong. You can't.
I just thought I would have thought the same as you, that it would have been top 10 and it's barely top 20. I thought
that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, hey, good news is the position's getting better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More opportunities. Yeah.
There is. And just for reference, guys, he's going around Isaiah Likely, Chigozimo Okonkwo, Jelani Woods, and Mike Gesicki.
LaQuan said it best. I'm not as comfortable as LaQuan making him my 2, but in any league where I need to draft a 3, it's him or Gesicki every single time. It just depends on how the bye weeks line up. So,
would you not? I think of the only people in this that I would look at, Jelani Woods would maybe be a competitor there.
See, I don't know. Like I said, I like what Gesicki has going for him, and then Chig as a flat out starter down that low as well. There's some really interesting names for tight ends at the end of a draft right now. A best ball draft, obviously. We're not talking redraft season right now.
Such as Taysom Hill at tight end 39.
Oh, God, I hate that guy. I'm pretty sure he's a good guy. But he's burned me 2 years where I faced him in a week. He just scores. Like, why do you keep doing this to me? It's like
Taysom Hill is only draftable in best ball as well because you do not
know even because
he's
only
he's a quarterback in best ball.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense.
Does anyone like the Saints that aren't Saints fans? Like, do they have a likable guy? They like.
I mean, I love Kamara, but
is he likable?
I am
okay. Shut up about A.T. Perry. We know
Rashid Shaheed and
I love Rashid Shaheed. I'll give you that.
Oh, Rashid Shaheed, definitely.
I love Shaheed, but like one receiver is not enough to be like, yeah, they're an okay team.
2 receivers, A.T. Perry.
No. Oh my God, A.T. Perry, you dumbass. Okay,
96% exposure on underdog right now.
Sadly, I believe that.
We're gonna go to the quarterback before we wrap up in the backfield. Ryan, you want to talk about Tua? He is, pretty much where you're seeing is like just average quarterback is where he's being drafted. Quarterback 15. And I will say the rookies are above him, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. That could very well change come actual like redraft season. So he could see tight end 13, or excuse me, quarterback 13.
And even there, he's going to make the point I want to make because I'm actually going to move away from best ball for this. So, Joe, you were surprised to find out, as was I when I found it, that Tua led the league in passing yards last year. So this is a guy who just led the league in passing yards, still has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, was the QB 10 in fantasy last year, but his draft stock has dropped 5 spots. And I think this is a situation where our love for the unknown rookies and the running quarterbacks is going to allow someone to get a really good fantasy quarterback at the end of their draft. Tua may be the poster child for why you cannot or should not take a quarterback anywhere near the first 5 or 6 rounds of a redraft draft, what it's going to take to get those elite guys in these leagues where people are going to reach for them. If you could just stand still and keep loading up on what running back and wide receiver and get Tua with your last pick or Jared Goff with your last pick, and believe me, it can happen. I've done drafts. I just did a mock draft where I tried to make sure I was the last person to take a quarterback and got Jordan Love as my starter. But to go back to Tua, I don't even think Tua went in that draft. A 12-team league, I don't think Tua got drafted. This guy was the QB 10 and has one of the best receivers in the NFL right now. The QB position is so deep, it just does not make a lot of sense to me to take one early at this point.
He's in that same conversation with the Brock Purdy's, the Kirk Cousins, the Jared Goffs, the guys
they're all better.
High volume passing, 25 to 30, 3, I'd say, touchdown passes, next to zip when it comes to rushing.
Nothing in the running game. Yep.
And that's the thing. So
and that's where everybody hates him. Exactly.
Yeah. Like they consistently finish in that, anywhere from QB 7 to QB 15 range. But yeah, like these are the guys to me that you double up on when you decide to chase that sort of high upside. You're drafting at their ceiling type players like your Anthony Richardsons and your Jaden Daniels and the guys that you're excited about, right?
Oh yeah.
That's who you double up with.
All you need, I say it every fucking time we talk about this team. Press them at the line. Tua throws for 150 and an interception in no touchdowns. Press them at the line. If the shit defense of the fucking New England Patriots can do it last year, so can you. It's not hard. Also, come playoff time, this man is irrelevant if he's not playing in South Beach because he can't play in weather. It's very clear. And I'm not talking about record-setting lows in the playoffs. Nobody can play in that weather. Not a single soul can play in that weather. But he can't play in Buffalo. He can't play in New England. He can't play anywhere that is not Florida or a dome, obviously. But he can't do that. And
that's all the more reason to grab him for the first 8 weeks and figure it out from there.
Sure, I grant you that. But I cannot get over that everything this man has ever done is based on timing routes. His first throw ever that burst him onto the scene, what was it? It was the throw in the national championship where he looked off the safety. He went back. He looked to his right, hit his back foot, showed the safety right. Then he went back to his left. Didn't even fucking look to see if the guy was open. He just knew the safety bit, and then he threw back to him, and Devonta Smith was open, and they win the fucking championship. He's never had to make a decision in his life. It has all been timing routes, which is why it's worked under Mike McDaniels, 100%. But we've all seen that offense is very easy to stop. Press the fucking line and get to the quarterback. It's not difficult. Tyreek Hill is the size of a bird. It's not hard to get him off the line.
A really fast bird, I'll tell you that.
Jalen Waddle is
the thickest bird
you've ever seen in your life. It's like a fucking stork. And then Jalen Waddle is built like a goddamn penguin, literally. So he's fragile, gets hurt. Odell is at the end of his fucking career, and it doesn't matter, because if you press Odell, he's going to beat you, but Tua can't throw that accurately enough anyway, because it's all timing, and he doesn't have the timing with that guy. I can't get on board with Tua. I can't. I would take Goff, Herbert, Cousins, Stafford, fuck Aaron Rodgers. I would take Baker. I would take Geno Smith. I would take so many people over Tua.
The only name you mentioned there is Goff that I would consider. Over the first, Joe, you probably hit a really good point here. Over the first 6 weeks, Tua was the QB3 in fantasy football.
He starts hot every year.
Yeah.
Starts hot every year.
So like I said, if I'm at the end of a draft.
He's Russell Wilson in Seattle, basically. Started off hot and then dies out around.
That is true. That is exactly how Russell started in Seattle. Yeah,
that's exactly what we're talking about right now.
That also makes him a perfect best ball pick as well in those leagues where, again, if you got one of the first 5 picks and you took Tyreek Hill, grab that to a T-stack and know that you're going to eat for the first 6 weeks. And then grab Goff for the rest. Oh my God, I'm about to build a lineup after this. It during.
I just can't stand this man. He goes to Green Bay.
As soon as I chose to defend him, I knew we were going to have this problem.
Yeah. So. He goes to Green Bay, and then championship week he's in Cleveland. Okay. See ya. You're not winning.
That's fair.
That's an issue. Sure. And a bigger issue is why the hell is Devon ACHANE RB7?
Well, hold on a second.
It's a sickness.
The timing.
That's insane.
We are literally just moving on to the backfield, my brother. We're about to talk about Devon ACHANE, and we did bring up Jeff Wilson, currently going undrafted, G, so he's free.
And possibly
it's all yours, buddy.
All yours.
Possibly not even a Miami Dolphin by the start of the season, which, who knows, could be a New England Patriot by the start of the season. And that would be the first and only Jeff Wilson New England Patriots jersey to ever be bought on NFLshop.com. Yep. Would be by Gianni Zollo of Windham, New Hampshire. Okay, Devon ACHANE. Josh, there's no shot in hell you think this guy is worthy of RB7, so continue.
Yeah, look at that. We actually got one right together.
I mean, I don't think anybody here is sitting here like, yeah, I want Devon ACHANE in the second round.
The only thing, and I'm going to let Josh talk because, you know what, Josh, it's underdog.
I was going to say, RB7 in best ball, it makes perfect sense because you're looking at it more from, I want all the spike weeks in the world. Exactly. When we start getting into more redraft, all of this ADP will slowly start to shift its way through. And I think people are going to see this guy played 11 games last year. Yes, he did a lot of damage in 11 games. He literally averaged 1 touchdown per game. That's asinine when you look at all of this. 7.8 yards per carry, 11.8 touches per game is really not great, which tells you how can he keep up this level of godlike efficiency? Short answer, he can't. There's no freaking way. There's literally nothing in the history that tells us he can make this happen.
This isn't the Cooper. Yeah, this isn't the Cooper Kupp situation where he became the Triple Crown. No.
Yeah, this is not it at all.
No. So I shouldn't have projected him for 34 touchdowns this year.
No, you should not have.
No. So I will say, so the first real week that he actually played and saw time, his first touch was week 2 against the Patriots. He had a catch for 4 yards and a run for 5 yards. He was not involved in the game plan whatsoever. You want to know his first real week? Against the Denver Broncos when they put up 71 points.
And that was week 4, right?
That was week 3. Week 4 was Buffalo.
Okay. Because I just remember there was the whole story where like he didn't play week 1 at all. And then week 2, like you brought up, it was such limited touches and nobody knew what to do with him. And then pop.
Correct.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of his stats, they're in blowouts.
And this probably changes this year, I will add. But looking at his snap percentages on offense, there was 2 times in the fantasy football regular season he was over. Actually, there was only 1 time he was over 60%. He had 55 and 60, but then the other times were 39, 46, 48, and 41. I think that changes this year, but do we think his efficiency stays the same? And after those first 3 weeks where everyone's like, this man is the greatest thing alive. He is this era's Gale Sayers. Like, nobody can touch him.
He got scared of a workload and missed 6 games.
No. He missed 4. Then he got injured and missed 2 more, but he missed 4 in a row.
And left 1 game early, so that's 7.
But the 4 games after he came back, 73 yards, granted he had 2 touchdowns, but 47 on the ground, 24 through the air. 32 on the ground, 30 in the air. 24 on the ground, 7 through the air. And that was when he had 55% offensive snaps. Then he had 107 against Baltimore in your fantasy championship week, but if you were playing him the 3 weeks prior, you didn't fucking make it that far because he didn't do anything for you. Mm-hmm. So, in all reality, he had 4, maybe 5 good weeks for fantasy football, and we're putting him at RB7.
That's what I'm saying. That works fine for best ball. But for redraft, you need a lot more consistency.
Yes.
And I understand it's still a week-to-week game that we're playing, but there's no way in God's green earth that you can feel comfortable relying on that level of boom bust at wide receiver 7 prices. We bitch about wide receivers like that, and we wouldn't spend that kind of draft capital on wide receivers. So I don't know why we're willing to do it for a running back, especially when we know they went out and traded a future 3rd to spend a 4th on Jalen Wright. They're going to work more than just Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane into this running back rotation. That right there is only going to further limit his touches and force him to be more efficient. I'm fine banking on efficiency, but you got to show me more than just 1 year of it before I really start to buy it.
This guy's cooking. This guy's cooking.
Fire content only.
Yeah, so this guy's cooking.
We're gonna play a little different. Would you rather here? Because fuck the Dolphins. And I'm just going to say the 2 guys ahead of him are Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley. Nobody in their right mind is taking Devon Achane over either of those guys.
Yes, they are, but go on. Go on.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm not taking Achane. I'm just saying there's lunatics out there that are in love with this story, and it's like...
Well, that's why he said in their right mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just checking. So here's what we're going to do, because you brought up the wide receivers. We complain about those prices as well. So obviously these are best ball ADPs, but we are going to run this as it is redraft. So we're assuming you're taking Achane as, let's call it, your 1st or 2nd running back. So he's a starter. And then these receivers we're going to bring up are either wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. Because if you go 2 running backs, that guy's your 1st receiver. If you go 2 receivers, Devon Achane's your 1st running back. So we can play either way. We're going to do all 3rd rounders because Devon Achane is the 3-1. He's the first guy taken in the 3rd round. I'm going to skip around just so I'm not on every page. Kieran Williams.
I mean, I'd rather have Kieran Williams.
I'd rather. Yeah.
Okay. Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Much rather Derrick Henry.
In redraft. Those are the only 3 running backs going in the 3rd round. Here are your receivers. You have Malik Neighbors. Again, feels like a bump because it's ADP in best ball. So we can probably discount that one. DK Metcalf.
Oh, much rather have DK.
Yeah, DK.
DK.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Yeah, no.
Ooh.
Okay,
No.
fair. You either love or hate DJ Moore. That's very fair. Cooper Kupp.
Cup.
Yep.
Kupp in a million years. Stephon Diggs. He feels very high right now. He's another guy that feels a little high.
I would take ACHANE here.
I think this is kind of the break for me. I think I would take ACHANE. Like, I think you can debate DJ Moore too, because him and Diggs are in very similar situations.
I was going to say
the supposed one with 3 wide receiver. Like,
I'll say
you could make an argument, but
LaQuan's immediate reaction to Moore is my immediate reaction to Stephon Diggs right now. I was like, ew, no.
No, excuse me. No, stop.
But then Michael Pittman.
Baby, Joe Flacco in the building.
I was going to say, I am down on Pittman because I don't know what that offense is, so I would bet.
Pittman.
In redraft, no.
I'm still going to take Pittman. That volume is going to be
I would
nuts.
take Pittman as well. Yeah.
Tank Dell.
I have to get myself out of best ball.
I would take ACHANE over Dell.
I would take ACHANE.
I'm fading both.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't like both either, but if you're gun to my head, I'm probably ACHANE as well. Yeah. Zay Flowers.
ACHANE.
I would go ACHANE.
Okay.
So you're right about where the cutoff is.
Yeah, you're right where the cutoff is. And then, how about this? There is one more guy. He's not a running back. He's not a receiver. He's not even a quarterback.
Tight end.
And it's not Travis Kelce.
Trey McBride.
Sam Laporta.
Oh.
Or Devon Achane.
Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
Sam. Give me Sammy. I'm not believing the Jameson Williams.
I'll literally take any of the 4. Andrews, Laporta, Kelce, or McBride over Achane.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Josh?
I'm not as high on Laporta this year as most because I think the touchdowns are coming back down to earth a little bit. But I think from a value perspective, I still would rather have Laporta over Achane.
Yeah.
When you're in the same conversation of I'd rather a tight end over you, you're being overdrafted.
Yeah.
To say
It's kind of the point of this exercise.
Yeah. That's exactly what we love. Would you rather? Also, not Vince calling him by his government name, Dennis Oliver Moore Jr.
Oh my God.
Not Vince calling him by his the name on his social security card.
Yo.
Houston.
That wide receiver core is all over.
So much to figure out what's going on there. It's just, I cannot wait for what CJ Stroud is this year. But I still don't know what to do with those.
That's what I feel DJ Moore is the clear one there, just because Keenan Allen's the best receiver on the team. Let's get that out of the way. Keenan Allen's the best receiver. He's just old as hell, and Rome Odunze's the rookie.
Preview of an article dropping for Football Guys. We're doing our hype and sleepers. Every Football Guys writer has Keenan Allen listed as their bust. I have him listed as my sleeper.
You're damn right you do. You're damn right you do.
I basically was like, you guys are all wrong. He's the best route runner and has the best hands on the team.
Yeah, but awesome. in this case of what we're talking about, like LaQuan said no to DJ, and then Ryan, you had the immediate ick with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs is going to come in expecting to probably be the alpha. But Nico Collins is probably that. And hell, Stephon Diggs could be the 3rd guy in targets if Tank Dell comes back fully healthy and
I can't remember
still
who
has
we
that
had
rapport.
On with us. I think it was Andrew Cooper brought up that this is a team that runs a fullback. So you're not going to see
Andrew
as many
Beck.
so you're not going to see as many 3 wide receiver sets. So figuring out who their 2 are is going to be very telling. And I am betting on Diggs and Collins right now. So I think Dell is going to end up being the odd man out. I also, based on things I've been looking into, Dell may end up being one of their primary kick returners with these new rules, which is then also going to lend itself. Now that means Dell.
It could be Damian too.
And Damian Pierce has also been mentioned. Absolutely. Great point there. So just throwing it out there, but finding out this is a team when you see who they run as their 2 wideouts, that is information that is worth knowing.
Agreed.
That's true.
Boom.
I would think they would run less of Beck though in that fullback when you actually have a third option in that offense as somebody.
Yeah, that'll be interesting if they're willing to change that.
Yeah, like the percentage might change in how often they run that personnel, but I honestly think like you don't keep Tank off the field like
for Andrew Beck.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that for a fullback. I'll be very surprised if they do that.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at this offense like it's a derivative of Kyle Shanahan. That's where Slowick came from. They run a lot with the tight end or the tight end, but the fullback there, and they don't run near as
they don't
much.
have a third guy.
Exactly.
I was going to bring up the same thing.
Yeah, like in San Fran, they don't run a ton of that 11 personnel. They obviously didn't have that true like.
They don't have this.
To me, like a solid 3 last year, like Noah Brown.
Yeah,
is
they don't
okay
need it
for what he is, but.
Yeah,
now you've got like a solid 3 wide receivers. Like if you're not running 11 personnel, I feel like you're mismanaging your offense, truthfully.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how it shapes out.